1 hour ago, the United States lost a war. Not with missiles, not with troops, with a piece of paper. And if you're just now checking your phone, checking your portfolio, checking your flight confirmation for next week, stop. Because the rules of the sky just collapsed, and your money is already gone. Welcome to Mr. Finance, where global events meet real consequences. Let me tell you what you're not seeing on television right now. You're not seeing the panic in the C-suite of every major American airline. You're not seeing the emergency conference call at FedEx, where logistics planners just realized their entire East Asian network is now burning fuel at a loss. You are not seeing the color drain from the face of a president who just realized that for the first time in his life, he cannot fight back. Because this morning, Canada did something that no one expected. They didn't shout, they didn't threaten, they didn't hold a press conference, they simply reached up and turned off the oxygen. Here's the geography that Donald Trump forgot. The Earth is a sphere. That matters. Because when you fly from Chicago to Tokyo, you do not fly straight. You fly north, you fly over the Arctic, you fly over Canada. For 70 years, the United States treated that airspace like a family driveway. Park there, idle there, take the shortcut. No charge, no questions, no consequences. It was an assumption, an entitlement, a habit, and habits die quietly. This morning, at 8:01 a.m. Eastern Time, Transport Canada issued a notice to air missions. Not a press release, not a photo op, a bureaucratic whisper. Effective immediately, preferential overflight rights granted to U.S. carriers are suspended pending sovereignty review. That is the most expensive paragraph ever written in Canadian history. And it just cost you, personally, thousands of dollars you haven't even lost yet. Let me translate the bureaucracy into blood. Delta, United, American FedEx, UPS. Every single one of them just got a fuel bill they cannot pay. Because when you lose the shortcut over Canada, you don't just lose time. You lose physics. You lose math. You lose the ability to compete. A flight from New York to Tokyo now requires more fuel, more crew, more stops, more ground time, more maintenance, more cancellations. Do you know what happens when a plane has to land in Anchorage to refuel? The crew times out. Federal law says pilots cannot fly beyond a certain number of hours. So that plane sits, that cargo sits, that package sits. Your Amazon delivery, late. Your summer vacation, double the price. Your stock in logistics companies, bleeding. And that is just day one. Analysts are now estimating this could cost the U.S. aviation sector $4 billion per week. Not per year, per week. That is not a trade war. That is a siege. Now, let's talk about the man who just pulled the lever. Mark Carney is not a politician, he is a central banker. And central bankers do not fight with fists. They fight with leverage. They fight with systems. They fight with the quiet understanding that every contract has a loophole, every agreement has an expiration, and every empire has a dependency. Carney watched Donald Trump for months. He watched the tariffs on steel. He watched the tariffs on aluminum. He watched the tariffs on lumber. He watched the insults at 3:00 a.m. and he did nothing. He smiled. He nodded. He waited. Because he knew something Trump forgot. The United States is a consumer nation. You consume energy, you consume goods, you consume travel. And the roof over your head, the roof of the entire northern hemisphere, is Canada. You cannot fly to Asia without asking permission. You cannot fly to Europe efficiently without crossing Canadian airspace. You cannot project power globally without the landlord of the North letting you through. Trump thought he was negotiating with the old Canada, the apologetic Canada, the Canada that asks permission. He forgot that central bankers do not apologize. They adjust variables, and the variable just changed. Here is what the White House looks like right now. Silence. Not strategic silence. Panic. Silence. Sources inside the West Wing are describing the mood as apocalyptic. Lawyers are pulling treaties from the 1950s. Diplomats are screaming at the Canadian ambassador. The president is reportedly asking staff, "Can't we just bomb them?" That is not a joke. That is a genuine question being asked inside the most powerful office on Earth. And the answer is no. You cannot bomb your largest trading partner over airspace fees. You cannot send the military to force open a flight path. You cannot sue Canada in a U.S. court. You are powerless. Completely, utterly, visibly powerless. And the world is watching. Now, let me show you the receipts. Receipt 1, Anchorage. Alaska was supposed to be a strategic asset. Right now it is a parking lot. Cargo jets that used to fly smooth arcs over the Yukon are being funneled into narrow corridors. Air traffic controllers are reporting gridlock. Fuel trucks are running dry. Planes are sitting on tarmacs burning money. Receipt 2, the Asian market, Korean Air, Japan Airlines, China Eastern. They are still flying over Canada. They are still paying the normal rates. They are still flying efficient routes. That means a Korean airline can now move cargo from Shanghai to New York faster and cheaper than FedEx. Carney just handed American market share to foreign competitors. And there's nothing Nothing anyone can do about it. Receipt 3, the diplomatic cables. We have reports just minutes old of a phone call between the U.S. Secretary of State and the Canadian Foreign Minister. The U.S. side was shouting. The Canadian side was described as polite but firm. They cited the environmental impact of aviation. They cited the need to review carbon pricing. They used the language of bureaucracy to execute a brutal geopolitical strike. They aren't saying, we hate Trump. They're saying, we love the environment, and your planes are too dirty to fly over our glaciers for free. It is masterful. It is cold. It is working. And this is where we have to talk about the man in the Oval Office. Donald Trump built his entire 2026 strategy on one assumption, that allies are weak, that they will fold, that they need America more than America needs them. He forgot that need flows both ways. The United States needs Canadian airspace. The United States needs Canadian energy. The United States needs Canadian water. The United States needs Canadian electricity. The United States needs Canadian oil. Trump spent 2 years threatening to shut down the border. He never thought about what would happen if Canada shut down the resources. And now he is learning. Let me bring this down to your level. You might be sitting there thinking, I don't fly to Tokyo, I don't own airline stock, why do I care? You care because this is about to hit everything you buy. When FedEx burns more fuel, you pay the surcharge. When Delta cancels flights, the supply of seats drops and your summer vacation doubles in price. When supply chains slow down because parts from Asia take an extra day to arrive, factories slow down, shifts get cut, jobs get shaky. This is the invisible tax of incompetence. Donald Trump's incompetence is now a line item in your monthly budget. And the tragedy? It didn't have to be this way. Canada didn't want this fight. Mark Carney wanted trade. He wanted flow. He wanted prosperity. He went to Washington. He offered reasonable terms on softwood lumber. He offered a pathway to modernize the border. And what did he get? Insults. Threats. A president who stood on a stage in Ohio and told his voters that Canada was ripping us off. So Carney did what central bankers do. He adjusted the variables. Now, let me show you what happens next. Scenario 1, the cave. Trump hates this. It kills his ego. But the CEOs of the airlines are donors. They are powerful. They are calling him right now saying, Mr. President, we are bleeding to death. Fix this. If Trump caves, he drops the tariffs. He apologizes, publicly or privately. He admits that Mark Carney beat him. That is the rational move. But we know Trump isn't rational. Scenario 2, escalation. Trump doubles down. He bans Canadian Airlines from landing in the US. Total chaos. Families can't visit each other. Business travel stops. The North American continent severs. And guess who gets hurt more? The US has 340 million people. Canada has 40 million. We have more to lose. More businesses that rely on cross-border flow. More supply chains that depend on Canadian inputs. If Trump chooses escalation, he triggers a recession. Not next year. Next week. Scenario 3, the secret deal. Trump sends a proxy. Elon Musk, a family member, someone who can fly to Ottawa quietly. They beg for a reprieve. They cut a deal in the shadows so Trump can claim victory in public while giving up everything in private. This is the most likely outcome. Trump will announce a tremendous new agreement. In reality, he just signed whatever Carney wrote on a napkin. But no matter which scenario plays out, the damage is done. The illusion is shattered. The world has seen that the United States is vulnerable. The world has seen that you can say no to Donald Trump and survive. Mark Carney just provided a blueprint for the rest of the world. Europe is watching, China is watching, Mexico is watching. They are realizing that the America First bully has a glass jaw, and Canada just punched it. Let me leave you with an image. Right now, at O'Hare, at JFK, at LAX, families are sleeping on floors, boards are lighting up red with cancellations, confusion, anger, chaos. And in the White House, confusion, anger, chaos, the same energy, the same failure, the same man at the center of it all. You voted for America First. Did you think that meant America grounded? You voted for a strong man. Did you think that meant a man too weak to keep the flight paths open? This is the reality of populist isolationism. It sounds great in a speech. It sounds great on a bumper sticker. But when it hits the complex machinery of the global economy, it breaks things. And right now it broke your ability to travel, your ability to afford basic goods, your ability to trust that the system works. Trump wanted walls. Well, Canada just helped him. They built a wall of air, a wall of fees, a wall of sovereignty. And now that the wall is up, Trump is realizing something. Walls trap you inside just as much as they keep people out. America is trapped. Trapped in a conflict we didn't need. Started by a president who doesn't read the briefings. Finished by a prime minister who read every single line of the contract. This is not a revolution, this is a foreclosure. Canada is foreclosing on American entitlement, and the foreclosure sale starts now. As the day goes on, you will hear the spin machine. Fox News will blame Trudeau, even though he's gone. They will blame woke Canadian policies. They will blame the Green New Deal. They will tell you this is an attack on freedom. Don't buy it. This isn't about freedom. This is about business. This is about contracts. This is about the fact that you cannot treat your biggest trading partner like an enemy and expect them to treat you like a friend. The bill has come due. And while Trump is frantically trying to find his credit card, Mark Carney is sitting there, calm, collected, waiting for the payment to clear. One final question. And it is a question that will divide this room, divide this comment section, divide this country. When you look at what just happened, the $4 billion a week, the grounded planes, the supply chains collapsing, the president powerless, was this leadership, or was this the first mistake of a larger disaster? Was Mark Carney defending his country, or did he just light a fire that will burn both sides of the border? Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. If Canada can do this, if a friendly neighbor can shut down American aviation with a single piece of paper, what happens when a real adversary tries? What happens when China rewrites the rules of the Pacific? What happens when Russia closes the Arctic? What happens when the entire world realizes that the United States is not an island, but a tenant living on borrowed geography? Trump broke the system because his feelings got hurt. Carney exploited the break because he could. And now we are all living in the wreckage. The skies are closed, the price is going up, and the president is offline. Welcome to the new North America. It's Carney's world now. We're just flying in it, if he lets us. If this exploration of power, law, and technology resonated with you, your support defines this channel. Smash the like button, subscribe to Mr. Finance, and hit the bell for our ongoing analysis. Thank you for watching.